Today's program is sponsored by The Anthony Vincent Salon. Say hello to beautiful.
Fashion, music, wellness.
And don't forget sex.
Mostly sex.
If it's trending, they'll be talking about it. Trend Radio is right here.
And right now, I'm Anthony Vincent.
And I'm Elise.
And we always have something great to say.
Because it's us. So stay tuned.
You'll be glad you did. Did you have a nice Valentine's Day?
Yes, I did. Thank you.
Did your sweetheart give you his heart?
He didn't have to give it to me. I already have it.
Oh, how sweet is that?
Yeah.
Well, we hope everyone out there had a lovely Valentine's Day.
Oh, me too. Yeah, absolutely.
But tomorrow is another big day.
Yes, it is.
It is the Daytona 500.
That's an incredible race.
Very exciting.
Do you know that it's a 500-mile race?
There you go.
200 laps. Is that crazy?
That is crazy. How long does that take? That's just
I mean, I imagine it takes a while.
yeah, they're going 200 miles an hour.
Yeah, I mean, it's a 200 lap.
Right, but the cars go very fast.
Yeah, they go very, very fast.
You know, I wanted to be a race car driver when I was a kid. That's what I wanted to do.
Well, I'm glad
and the
that
Daytona 500 was the reason why.
I'm glad that you're not a race car driver.
I guess I make a better stylist.
Well, it's not that. It's just that they have such tragic ends.
Yes.
A lot of those car rides. I mean, I hate to bring everybody down, so let's not talk about that.
No,
okay?
Tell us a little bit about the race.
So it's held annually at the Daytona International Speedway in Daytona Beach, Florida. And this is an amazing race. It's regarded as the most prestigious race on the NASCAR calendar.
Oh, it is.
You know what? Because it's the most expensive. It carries the largest purse.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And the hottest girls.
Yeah, I guess it does. Absolutely. They get really excited. Hey, fast cars.
Fast cars, fast women.
Yeah.
That's a winning recipe for me.
I know it is. Anyway, it's known as the Super Bowl of stock car racing, or the Great American Race. Interesting.
Very, very.
We're going to have to do that one day.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe we'll cover it one year.
That sounds like fun. Maybe the station will send us there to cover it.
Yeah.
That would be just wow.
Ha ha ha. Yeah.
So, our fun facts this week about semen. Sperm.
Semen. Okay, so I was going to say sperm semen or the semen out on the sea. Which one?
That's when the ships come in.
Yeah, my ship comes in. Yeah.
So, some fun facts is that the average size ejaculation is really only half a teaspoon.
Really?
Yes, and I've heard it feels like a gallon or seems like a gallon.
Yeah, only half of a teaspoon?
Only half a teaspoon.
Wow, that's just a little itty bitty bit.
That's right. So every guy who's listening to us out there, grab a teaspoon and check to see how you measure up.
It's a little bit wasteful there now, isn't it?
And did you know there are about 2 million swimmers in the average human ejaculation?
2 million?
That's right.
Wow. So if they're all good, that could be quite a lot of babies.
That's right. And you know what? That's the same number as an average size rabbit ejaculation.
Really?
Mm-hmm. However, do you know the pig puts out about 80 million little piggy wigglers?
Wow.
per ejaculation. I guess that's why they're called pigs.
I guess so. Pig. That's so funny.
So we got some interesting things to talk about today.
We do.
Yes. And talking about sperm and average size ejaculations and other odds and ends that we talk about on our show, we today are going to expose the myth of a weak female sex drive.
A weak female sex drive?
Yeah.
Why are you picking on us ladies?
Mike, would you say that ladies never want to do it when you want to do it?
I guess the timing can be off sometimes, but I do know that when they want it, they are
Insatiable?
wildebeests. Yeah, they just go.
Really?
I mean, I've seen girls that when they want it, they go crazy, but the timing can be off sometimes with a man and a woman.
Well, we're going to expose that myth about women being less interested in sex
Well, let me just say this.
than guys.
I think it depends on the woman, and I think it depends on who the woman is with.
Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense.
It totally depends on the woman.
Yeah, I, in my
Believe me,
experience,
there are not all weak women out there.
well, from what I hear, most women all have a very, very weak sex drive. I don't think there are very, very many, exceptions to that rule.
Maybe you just don't know the right one. I mean, that's possible. Speaking vernacularly, of course.
Well, we're going to find out a little bit later on in the show.
I just can't wait.
Because our show is all about health, wellness, mostly sex. So did you know that there are rules to having casual sex?
Yes.
You did?
Yes.
Oh, all righty. Because casual sex is very, very tricky,
Yes. There
Wow.
are rules.
Okay. Boy, I'm at a loss here.
Why? Why are you staring at me like
because
that? Because I know this?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know a lot.
I-
You always say I know everything.
Yeah, no, I say you're a know-it-all.
I am not a know-it-all. I don't know it all. I just know a lot about it all.
Well, for two consenting adults who are exactly on the same page, hooking up can be perfect for scratching every particular itch if they want. But it's not always that way. And that's because casual sex is kind of tricky.
It is tricky.
and
Here's the thing. There are rules. And we've talked about this when we were talking about friends with benefits,
Yeah.
things like that. There are rules to having casual sex. You have to know where your boundaries are.
Mm-hmm.
You have to know where your boundaries are. This is not a typical relationship. It's not. And one thing, and this is an error that happens, people fall in love. And that's a problem. When you love your casual sex partner too much, you have an issue. And you have to remember that's a no-no. So if you're going to do this, you have to do it carefully. And you have to stick within the guidelines.
Okay. So rule number 1 is you should only do somebody that you actually like and respect.
Absolutely.
And
very, very, very important.
okay. Now you said about loving them. Now, are you talking about loving them or being in love with them? Are they the same thing?
They are not the same thing. You can love somebody, and that's a beautiful thing. And then you can fall in love with somebody, and that's not such a good thing, especially if you're not with that person, and especially if you're really just having, honestly, just a sexual relationship with that person.
Boy,
That's a boundary there.
yeah, that sounds kind of cold.
That happens, though. No, because you can absolutely love somebody and have a very fulfilling casual sexual relationship with them and still be their friend and still have a wonderfully fabulous relationship outside of that with other people. You know what I mean? You can do that. You can love more than one person at a time. You can be
That's called a threesome, isn't it?
Yeah, you can actually be in love with more than one person at a time.
I believe that.
That's the truth. You absolutely can be. Is it healthy? Absolutely not. But it happens. And it's very unfortunate. And that's where, a lot of understanding has to come in. But this kind of relationship, if this is something that you're choosing to have, as long as you follow the guidelines, and there are guidelines, and you're both on the same page, and again, it happens with a mutual respect for each other.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so there are certain things that you have to do and not do to make sure that it works.
So, love or no love or in love or that love, what you're saying is that you have to actually care
Yes.
about the person
Yes, I
that you're
think
with.
so.
Okay. Because, we're so guilty of trying to be the cool one, when it comes to sex. And I'm talking about generally speaking, don't be so desperate to get laid that, you're not above caring about the person and you're not above self-respect. We're always talking about self-respect.
Absolutely. It's
Yeah.
crucial.
Yeah. And if you're placing fewer demands on your partner than someone else might, it's totally cool if you don't want anything other than a physical relationship.
Here's the thing about something like that. A relationship like that is really incredible, actually. It can be really fantastic, because you're having a sexual relationship with somebody that you respect, care about, and is a friend of yours.
That's right.
And the thing is that the cool part about that is that you have to make sure that if you're really serious about it and you want it to work, you have to make sure that you do respect each other, because if you don't, then that's going to just end badly and be very nasty.
That's right. Be compassionate.
Exactly.
It's much more attractive.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But the thing about this kind of relationship is you're sharing, of course, that intimacy that you feel you need, and other things also, but you're not in the same household lifestyle, that kind of thing. So there aren't, your everyday crazy things that come up, which makes it so much easier to have that intimacy, because you're not drawn down or brought down by everyday life
By
issues.
blockers. There's things that block.
Exactly.
People that block.
Exactly.
Situations that block.
Of course. That doesn't pertain to this type of relationship. It doesn't, because there are boundaries there. And so when you're together, and that's it. And so that's what makes that so fulfilling.
Yeah, and I think you need to really be upfront. Have conversation. Like, I don't think you can, like, if you're looking for a relationship, you can't sex somebody into a relationship.
No.
And if it's a relationship that you want, you need to be a grown-up and say, I want a relationship. But don't just start doing it with the hope that you guys are going to have a future and a relationship. When you both said to each other, it's sex is all I want.
Well, this is the thing about that kind of relationship. You can be friends with that person. You can do, whatever it is that you do. That's fine. And of course, you're going to respect the person. But the thing about that relationship is that it's a very intimate, very sexual relationship. But again, it doesn't go beyond that. It goes like, you have your friendship, you have your respect for one another, you do whatever it is that you do together, but you don't
want to do the grocery shopping. You don't want to vacuum the carpet together.
You don't do the everyday humdrum things that you do with whoever you do it with.
That's right. And good, solid relationships are boring. Those are the things that you do the grocery shopping with. You go to the mall with. You go to the car wash and do those boring things in a relationship. And that's
get
what
the
makes
oil change.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
That's a secure relationship, because that's real life.
That is real life, and that's very important. And that But that doesn't, with this other type of relationship, this casual, sexual, hot relationship, that's a different story. That can also be secure in its own way.
That's right.
But that, that's a completely different kind of relationship.
That's right. If you don't want a relationship, you say so. If you do, you say so. And
yeah, be upfront.
Yeah. And you shouldn't have sex with somebody just to test the waters, because that's how people get hurt.
Unless you just want to have sex.
And
and that's okay too. Nobody's judging.
Okay, I agree.
But if you want to actually have a sexual relationship with somebody, this is definitely the way to do it.
There you go. Now, what about text messaging somebody?
What about it?
Well, I don't know. The text messaging, I think that's a cop-out as far as the discussions go, because we're talking about saying what you want. And people text that stuff.
Yeah, they do text that stuff because sometimes it doesn't come out easily.
Right.
But you have to understand something. I think there's no reason to, I think if you're together and you're talking, speak.
Right.
If you're not together and something comes into your mind and you need to say it, text it. There's no problem with that. That's the way people communicate.
Well, I don't know. Maybe I'm old-fashioned, but if I'm going to exchange bodily fluids with somebody, then
the only thing is that you're having a thought.
In person.
I understand that, but you're having a thought. You're both at work. You're busy. Everybody is busy. Lunch hour hasn't come up yet, or dinner time hasn't come up yet, or anything like that. Free time has not happened, but you're in a meeting or you're busy doing something, and the thought happens, and you have to get it out. Text it. It's okay. I don't see any reason that you shouldn't express yourself.
Yeah, sometimes it can affirm things. That's happened to me before. That
exactly.
The text kind of affirms, and it kind of gives confidence and a little more anticipation.
It's
exactly. There's
Thursday, 7:30. Okay.
There is nothing sexier. Like all of a sudden that, you see your phone and you get that little message, and it could be anything. It could be just a simple little exchange of one letter that you guys have in common or something, or a number or something that would just put a smile there. And that, all of a sudden, the serotonin goes to the brain, and, you're just feeling that little pump in your heart. That's exciting. So to get a little text message like that once in a while is really nice.
Okay. But if you don't want a relationship, I don't think that should be text. That should be done face to face, and so in that way you actually see the physical reaction.
Exactly.
And I think that'll reveal about how somebody really feels.
Yes.
Rather than
no. If you have something
message
that's a little bit on the negative side that you don't necessarily want to hurt anybody, I would definitely not put it in text.
That's right.
Because text can be misconstrued, and it often is.
That's right. And if somebody wants a relationship and you don't, or vice versa, if there's any little doubt at all that that your sexy fun times partner even has the smallest hope of taking things a little bit further, you need to stop sleeping with them right now, and demonstrate some respect for yourself and taking the responsibility. Because I think if one person wants more than the other, I wouldn't want to deal with the tears and that drama down the line.
Absolutely. Here's the thing about that. As soon as it changes, it's very, very important that you're honest and that you share that, because the worst thing that you can possibly do
is get soft on somebody.
Is mislead somebody.
Yeah.
And getting soft, there's nothing wrong with how you feel and who you are as a person, as long as you're honest. And here's another thing, this type of relationship, because it's so openly sexual and intimate, it's very, very important if you're having a relationship like this and you think and you know that it's just the two of you, one-on-one, having this casual sexual whatever it is, these rendezvous, it's very important to be honest if there's any other partners involved. So if the lady has, multiple partners, or the man has multiple partners, I think it's very important that you're upfront about this and you share this so that you can each make the right decision for yourself. Because you might not want to be involved with somebody if they're involved with 3 other women, or,
Ooh.
you know what I mean? Or 3 other men, So you have to be careful with that.
Or
so
3 other couples.
Swingers. Yeah. However it is, you have to just be honest. I think something like this requires the utmost honesty because of the nature of the relationship.
You're right. Establish your criteria.
Absolutely.
What good kind of sex buddy fits your certain wants and needs.
Exactly.
And if your partner isn't matching up to your needs, and
get another.
Yeah, find another one.
But here's the thing.
Don't settle.
When you start this type of relationship, when you start this, because of the nature of it, you do respect the person and you do have feelings for the person.
Yeah, so treat them that way.
Exactly. That's where the honesty comes in, because it should be accepted no matter what.
That's right. And, if your, fun buddy doesn't fit your criteria,
then it's no longer a fun buddy.
That's right. Don't settle, because I hear there are plenty of other people who want to have sex with you, and search for the one worthy of what you got to give.
Exactly.
Wow. Now, what about, sleeping or not sleeping with somebody on the first date? So you don't know if you like the person. You're just having...
Well, if you're going on a first date with somebody, chances are you're not looking for a casual sex partner.
On a first date?
Yeah. Might be
aren't
looking...
all guys looking for casual sex on the first date? Or am I...
That's... No.
It matters who you're... If you're seeing a girl because you want to be in a relationship with her, probably not. Not me personally, but if I'm just seeing a girl that I want to date... Maybe, because I'm attracted to her.
Here's the thing about that. If you're looking for sex and you're on and you hook up with somebody, that's not a date. That's a hookup. There's a difference. If you're going on a date with somebody, a date is you're taking somebody out for dinner, you're getting to meet somebody, you're looking for a relationship.
Never a first date
you're looking
at dinner. You don't know the person well enough.
Okay, whatever it is.
It's too intimate.
Coffee, a drink, whatever it is. So you're a movie, whatever it is that you're doing. That's not, you're either looking for a hookup or you're looking to meet somebody, get to know somebody, and have a relationship, which either are fine. If you're looking for a hookup, you're going to go to a bar, and you're going to say, hey, whatever. And that's going to be the exchange and the drinks. And then you're going to go and you're going to have your hookup. That's not the same as casual sex. A casual sex relationship is a completely different kind of situation than a hookup or...
So a hookup is not a fun buddy. A fun buddy.
A fun buddy is, or whatever you want to call it.
Well, we left out a couple of letters. So fun buddy is good.
Yeah, a fun buddy, or like what we were talking about before, friends with benefits, type of relationship, casual sexual relationship, that kind of thing. They're different than a hookup. A hookup's a hookup.
Right.
You're having sex that night and possibly the next night or possibly a week later or whatever, but it doesn't last. And you don't know the person.
Where are these people at? Where are these girls at? I'd never met anybody like that.
Yes, you have.
I don't remember.
It's been a long time, buddy.
That's for darn sure.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's the thing. Those are the differences in those kinds of relationships.
Okay. Well, James Michael Sama, he's a fairly well-known dating and relationship blogger. And he says if you've got a true connection with somebody, there's really no reason to wait. for that casual sex on the first date. If you're not looking for a relationship.
Okay.
Okay. But the opposite is you remember Patty Stranger, the millionaire matchmaker?
Yep.
Okay. She's another well-known relationship expert, and she recommends the no sex rule. No dating before no sex before monogamy.
Oh.
That's what she says.
Okay. Well, these are all opinions.
Well, of course. They're all opinions.
These are opinions. The most important thing is that you do what's right for you.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, nobody knows you better than you.
That's right.
And so if you're comfortable in whatever it is that you're doing, then just do it. And if it feels good, then do more of it.
That's right.
And that's the thing.
Sex actually can complicate a relationship, particularly when each person is looking for drastically different things. Like, one wants to hook up, the other wants a relationship, just like we were saying earlier.
That's the problem, and that can be complicating. So you can't be that's where the honesty comes in and the boundaries.
Yeah.
And that's where the acceptance comes in. If you want to be in the relationship, you're going to accept whatever it is the other person does or says. That's where the honesty comes in. Because you have to be honest with the person so that each of you understands what's going on. Because that's where the mutual respect is. As long as you're honest, and it can be accepted or not accepted. And that's fine. Either thing is fine.
You mentioned that friends with benefits concept. That's really a trendy phenomenon in our culture.
It absolutely is.
But, how does it work for most people?
Well, here's how it does. I mean, I thought we were clear, but I'll say it again. Here's the deal with a friends with benefits thing. And the same thing goes for a casual sex relationship.
That's right.
Okay. It boils down to it. Wait, did you want to say something?
No. It hit me when you started talking is that, sex brings out a natural intimacy that two people may or may not be prepared for. And they sometimes don't know what to do with it. That's
where the respect comes in, the mutual respect and honesty. And the thing is that if you truly, like the person, love the person, respect the person, have whatever it is, if this is your desire to continue like this in this type of relationship, this is what you're going to get. You're going to have somebody that, you're friends with, somebody that you care about, somebody that you respect, somebody that you enjoy being around, somebody that you're definitely very sexually attracted to, somebody that you feel intimate about and intimate with, and that you can share things with. Okay, you're going to take that and you compile it into this relationship. And then the thing is about that relationship is that it doesn't go further than those things. It doesn't go beyond into, again, going over to the Home Depot and picking up a key. It could, but it doesn't. Typically it doesn't go, beyond, it doesn't go like if you get a flat tire, it doesn't, yeah, you can get some help here and there or whatever. You can do a whole bunch of different things with it. Everyday things. It doesn't involve paying the mortgage together. It doesn't involve, those kinds of things, because you don't bring those things into it. It doesn't involve going to the movies together. Those are the things that you do, on a different, in your different life or your other area. These things, they're very common, actually. I know actually quite a few people that do this. Some of my clients and my friends, they have these different relationships, and it works for them. And that's like a really cool thing. If that's something that works for you and you're happy with it, then by all means do it. Whatever it is, I say, especially now in my life, whatever makes you feel good, do it and do more of it.
Oh.
That's how I believe right now.
Well, from the personal experiences that our clients share with us, I know that sometimes turning down sex when proposed in a friendship relationship may offer some benefits, but you never know what could have happened if you just made the opposite choice and didn't have sex with someone that kind of came on to you with it and had this open. Am I making sense?
Yeah. Well, of course, you're never going to know what would happen if you didn't do it.
That's right.
I mean, it's like you either do it or you don't.
Right.
And you don't know. But,
right.
But that's your personal choice.
Of course. So, but what I'm saying is that when you have a friend and there's an opportunity to have that casual sex, I'm thinking more times than not, it's better not to go down that road, because you'll still have that friend years down the road.
That's where, your boundary comes in. You either can do it or you can't. That's where your boundary comes in. That's where your mutual respect comes in. And that's where it matters so much, the level of respect that you have for the person. Mm-hmm. Because you can either do it or not.
Right. And I can tell you that I have more friends that I didn't have sex with, and very few friends that I did have sex with. There were several psychologists that chimed in on the Medical Daily article about first date sex. And this Dr. Fran Walfish, a psychotherapist, agrees first date sex definitely influences the development of a long-term relationship. She says it's because strong, healthy, long-lasting relationships are built on good communication, ethics, a mutual value system, character, and shared interests, all the things that make a fabulous relationship.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And she says without taking the required necessary time to get to know each other, the relationship becomes foundationally built on sex instead of the many other important values. And shared values don't go up and down. They're an ever-present constant.
Absolutely.
Your character is
They're
your character.
either there or not.
That's
exactly.
Right. That's right.
And they either meld together or they don't. And that happens a lot. That's why, again, communication and respect are huge in any relationship.
Yeah. And so few people really take that into consideration.
Yeah, that is true.
And, these studies that we come across and we talk about, on the show over here, they're really a mixed bag of truth, but there's at least one study which points out that having sex early on in a relationship negatively affects the relationship. What is the rule, Mike? 5 dates, have sex, 3 dates?
I never found that out, really. It just kind of, it's always been a case-by-case basis.
I think it depends on the people.
Yeah.
I think it depends on what your needs are and depends on who you are as individuals. And yeah, I definitely don't think, there's a 5-date rule or a 3-date rule or a 1 date. I'd said it before. I think it depends on, every situation is different and everybody is individual.
Yeah. We don't talk about personal issues, but I know for myself, I don't want to hop in bed with a stranger. I really don't. I really want to know somebody first and and get to know their character and their values, and before I'm comfortable to hop in bed with somebody.
But it's interesting.
I know that doesn't sound like a guy's point of view.
No, but you know what? That is a lot of men are like that. A lot of people are like that, and that's a great way to be. And I can certainly understand that, because it is a very, very intimate part of you that you're giving to somebody.
Yeah.
And so I can understand that completely and agree with that. But not everybody is the same. And then you take that situation, you take a situation where you have somebody who's a little bit insecure, who is missing out on something and doesn't know what it is that he or she wants. And they're looking for anything. They're looking for closeness. They're looking for heat. They're looking for somebody to just, spend the night with.
Yeah.
And that's okay too. And, it depends on what your needs are and what you're looking for.
That's right. And, my needs and wants were different when I was 20 and now.
As opposed to now. Exactly.
As opposed to now being 40, I'm, doubled my age and maturity level. And so the things that I'm looking for now at 40, I had no interest at all in my 20s.
Wow.
So, there was a 2012 study published in the Journal of Sex Research. And what they did is they surveyed about 11,000 unmarried couples in steady relationships. And the study seemed to find that the people who had sex early on in the relationship had lower levels of relationship satisfaction, communication, and stability compared to those couples who waited longer to have the sex.
Well, again, it just goes to show you, though, they're in relationships. When you're in a relationship with somebody, when you're having a relationship with somebody, to start off, exactly like the last study said, to start off with the sex doesn't mean that you're building on anything else or everything else. Mm-hmm. And so you're not learning everything else there is to learn, because you still learn new things about your partner. Even after, you're in a relationship for 20, 30 years, you still learn something new because everybody changes as they go along. Mm-hmm. The thing is that when you start off having sex that first time, when you start off that way, you're building on that as opposed to, what really is, important. Other parts of your relationship.
Okay. So, Lisa, what you're saying is that this all really leads to mixed messages for both men and women. And one of the problems that...
Well, I'm not saying it leads to that. I'm saying that don't let it lead to that.
Oh, okay.
Don't lead to a mixed message. Be upfront.
Well, we usually don't know what we want.
That's why as you're going along, communication and honesty have to be filtered in. Okay. That's just the way it has to be. With any relationship, it should be. If you can be honest and communicate, that's like 100% right there. That's a key factor.
Okay, so in other words, we may be open to a relationship, but not actively seeking one out. Or we may be opposed to a relationship, but realize that that's what we really want when we meet someone. And that's...
You're right. You know what? The truth is that we don't always know what we want.
That's right. And we don't always know what we think we want.
It's really a crapshoot until you're in the middle of it. And that's why you have to, when you do realize what it is, say it.
Okay. So that's why it gets a little difficult to determine if having sex will affect a developing relationship.
Yes.
Because especially if you don't know what you're looking for, and you find what you're looking for is something else that you never thought you were looking for.
Exactly.
Okay.
And that's where a casual sex relationship or a friends with benefit relationship, that's where you can run into a situation if one of you falls in love and the other one is not, at that same level. That's where, the honesty has to happen and you have to just say it.
Okay, so Okay, so then the consensus is Elise, Mike, and me all say if you're looking for a relationship, it can help to build the relationship if you wait for the casual sex. We're not saying
if you don't have it, it could, and you just If you meet somebody and you think that what you're looking for is just sex, have sex. If you meet somebody and you think, hey, you know what? There's more to this person. I think there might be more. Wait on the sex. It's okay. Wait, see what happens. See what opens up.
That's right.
See what flies.
You may be surprised. It is very much worth waiting for.
Yep, that's true.
All righty. That was interesting. Don't touch that dial. We're going to hear a word from our sponsor right now. I forget who it is. Who's our sponsor?
Us.
Oh, yeah. And we are going to expose the myth of the weak female sex drive. We'll be right back.
Need a salon that's about the whole you? Precision haircuts, flawless makeup, impeccable nails, top-rated professional hair products. Anthony Vincent Salon. Looking for a hairstylist who has his finger on the pulse of all the latest trends? Anthony Vincent Salon. Looking for a dependable salon with over 35 years in the industry? Anthony Vincent Salon. Looking for New York City and internationally trained stylists that will create the perfect look for you? Anthony Vincent Salon. Shine brightly while walking down the aisle. Anthony Vincent Salon. For longer, thicker, beautiful hair extensions, Anthony Vincent Salon. Incredible makeup applications for weddings, proms, or any special occasions. Anthony Vincent Salon. Have dry, brittle summer hair? Get a hot shot. Anthony Vincent Salon. Before you put a ring on it, manicure it. Anthony Vincent Salon. Your image is their specialty. For the 150,000 hairs on your head, there's only one choice. Anthony Vincent Salon. For a more beautiful you, call now 609-448-2212 and follow them on Twitter.
It's crazy.
Tell me what's crazy. I want to know.
I hear all the time my my guy clients complaining about how weak their partner's sex drive is.
Maybe they're not sexy. Your guy clients.
I don't know. It just seems as though guys have, a stronger, more vibrant sex drive than women do.
I think it depends on the woman.
Well, you're probably right. I mean,
I know
never say never, and nothing is ever 100%. And and we have said many times, on this show that being stylists / therapists in the salon, most of our clients want and need to talk about their sex lives.
Yes.
Or
that
lack
is
of it.
Absolutely the
or
truth.
Lack of it, yeah.
That is the truth.
Yeah. So whether explicitly or not, women have been told and or accepted the notion that they have much lower sex drives than men.
Okay, maybe they're told that. I don't know that they necessarily accept it. I mean, it depends. It depends. I'm going to say this again. It really depends on the woman. Because...
Well, what happens is it's pointed out to them over and over again in justification. Why do men masturbate so much? Why do they look at porn so much? Why do they have multiple partners so much? Why do they cheat on their partners?
What about women who do that?
Well,
there are women who do that. We just don't talk about it necessarily. You see, vernacular, of course.
Okay.
Men talk. They share. Women are smart. They don't.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
Do you think maybe that could be a thing there?
Men are always trying to pressure their partners into having sex.
I don't know if they're necessarily trying to pressure them, but what are you talking about? What are you talking about? You're going in, you're getting a haircut, and you're telling your hairstylist, yeah, my lady doesn't want me.
Yep.
Yeah?
Yep.
Oh, my God.
They do.
Oh, my God.
It's amazing.
What is the reason for that? Are you whiny? Are you not masculine? I mean, what is the reason? Why doesn't she want you? Did you ask?
No, I didn't know.
What did you say?
Listen. It's my job to listen.
Hey, poor guy. What did you say? What do you give advice on what it is that you can do?
My job is to listen. The therapist listens.
But do you get... see, my job is to serve. So I listen and then I come up with something reasonable to tell the person on how they can fix it and how they can have a solution.
That's the difference between men and women.
Exactly.
That's the difference. There you have it right there.
So then you're listening to this guy whining that he's not getting sex, and I'm listening to this lady saying, hey, you know what? All he does is whine. He complains, he whines, yeah, and then he's done complaining, then he wants to, take me to the bedroom. Yeah, you think I want to go with him after that? Absolutely not. Tell him to shut up.
Alrighty, so there you go.
Okay.
The idea that women have lower, less voracious sex drives is purely myth, and it isn't fair to either gender.
Here's the thing, though. Women are more emotional. So we tie our emotion in, and then sometimes, hey, why do we need to go have sex with you? Hello, you're kind of acting like an idiot, so why would we want to be with you?
That's right. Women are depicted in the media as like sexy, tan, thin sex objects. And the idea that women actually want and, should I say, need sex as much as their male counterparts?
Or sometimes more.
Okay.
Think about who's going through the hormonal issues.
Yeah,
okay?
yeah.
Women are the ones.
That's right.
Men, but not really.
Well, how could women possibly be able to deny men their sex drives if they were compatible?
Oh my gosh.
Because men that's all they think about 100 times a day.
Yes.
Or actually, I think it's 11,000 times a day.
Okay. Women also think about sex, but we also think about other things too. Like what we're going to feed the guy. We have to go to the grocery store and pick up, his roasted chicken.
I always thought that a way to a man's heart was not through his stomach, that it was a little lower.
Yeah, but no.
I was wrong.
Yeah, you want it because men need to also be taken care of.
Yes.
Very differently. Women are way, way, way more independent. Men need to be taken care of. They need to be fed. They need to be clothed. They need to be bathed. They need to be all these different things.
I never deny showering with a friend.
Exactly.
A female friend.
All these things, people, it's misconstrued.
That's right.
I just think that there's just so much going on. More so because, a woman can do, not saying that men can't do a lot, but a woman just does double of what a man does. Because not only is she taking care of the house and taking care of the kids and taking care of, if you don't have kids, the dogs, taking care of the food, taking care of this, that. She's also taking care of herself, making herself look beautiful. And then taking care of him.
That's right.
And what's he doing? He's complaining because he has to take out the garbage and clean out the garage. Really?
Whiny little boy.
Exactly. So why would she want to have sex with him? Think about it.
Alrighty. So many of my clients told me that they do think that their sex drives are abnormal, and
that they think it's too high?
Too high, yeah. They report having higher sex drives. No, these are the women now. These are the women that are telling me this.
Okay.
And
this I believe.
Yeah, and
because the reality is that honestly, because it's tied emotionally, because the sexual everything is tied emotionally, and if she thinks that he's being the way he's being and she doesn't want to be with him right now, sexually she's not being satisfied.
That's right.
So think about that.
That's right. And since their sex drive is higher than their husbands or their boyfriends, they actually feel guilty for wanting or asking for sex so often. I want to shake him and say, no, you're normal. You're normal. And I'm happy to hear that their sex drives are normal and are high or higher than their man's.
Right.
Because I'm always hearing these whiny guys going,
I'm telling you.
If you don't like this, it's got to be them.
It is.
You know?
It's the guy.
And you know what I think it is too? It all goes back to all of our other shows where we talked about keeping the attraction high in the relationship, you know, giving little notes, a little kiss,
a little quickie.
Yeah, keeping that.
A little text. A little something. A little sweet text can't hurt.
That's right. You know, bringing flowers, not for Valentine's Day, not for birthday, not for anniversary.
It doesn't have to be
Bring them a
flowers.
flower.
It could be a flower.
Just for the sake of bringing them a flower.
One piece of candy. One. A little chocolate kiss.
You only need one.
Exactly.
You only need one.
What I'm saying is, it's the thought. It'll bring a smile. Trust me, it'll bring a smile.
That's right. Waking up your partner with a little oral and then just jumping in the shower afterwards. You know, either or, you know, it keeps that attraction high and keeps them thinking about you all day.
All day long.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I drifted off on that thought. Now, there was a study done in 1977 by Baldwin and Baldwin about female and male sex drives. And they have more in common than you would like to believe.
Okay.
In fact, there's more of an overlap in men and women's sex drive than there is a difference. However, in this study, the average female sex drive, as reported in the study, was lower than the male sex drive. It's what they reported. Now, the reason for this slight difference is both social and biological factors influencing sex drive. Is that making any sense yet?
Okay. Yeah, I understand what you're saying. Keep going.
Okay.
I'm listening.
Okay. So now, according to this study, what they did is they had men and women report their sexual desire, and then with men and women, they actually measured their genital arousal with electronic equipment. So the
Wow.
Wow,
that's interesting.
Yeah, so it's what they thought and what actually happened.
Wow.
Now, with men, their actual sexual desire levels agreed with the genital measurement, electronically.
Okay.
They equaled. But the opposite happened with women. Women's reported sexual desire did not agree with the electronically measured desire. In fact,
that's really interesting.
Yes, they lied.
They lied?
Yes.
Why? Now, why would that be?
We're going to find out. Now, the fact is that women's arousal levels was always much greater than what they reported.
Now, why would they lie, though?
Okay. Our society ostracizes women with high sex drives. Women feel uncomfortable with sharing their actual level of arousal.
Interesting.
Yeah. You know, for instance, some men and women whose partners didn't want to or didn't know how to satisfy them, they might develop a distaste or a lower sex drive for sexual activity. Now, educating both males and females on ways to enjoy sex may help their partners enjoy sex. But, just listening to our show every week would be a good start.
Absolutely. I agree.
Another issue that affects female sex drive is guilt. For women especially, and those that grew up, most girls that grew up, were always taught that sex is dirty, and opinions.
They didn't know my mother.
Opinions about sex significantly influences a woman's experience of it.
Wow.
So, what's that saying is, even if a woman were to wait until marriage, she would still be enormously difficult for her to reverse her negative thoughts about sex.
I guess it depends on how you're brought up.
That's right. Right, because we say this all the time. It happens in the brain. It's between your ears.
Yes, it does.
Not between your legs. And those negative thoughts really can be detrimental to anybody, who...
Yeah, no, absolutely. If you have a negative thought and it's processed and that's something that you grow up with and that you believe, that's your thought. It's hard to change your thoughts.
That's right.
But when you change your thoughts and you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change.
Yes, they do.
And we always say that also.
Okay, so at this point, what does it mean for men or women? The point is that the myth is just that. It's a myth. And that the inaccurate portrayal of the female sex drive causes women to be ashamed of their bodies and to make them think that there's something wrong with them.
Wow.
And it's not.
That was a mouthful.
Yeah. Yes, it was. And the myth that women have lower sex drives, that affects men in similar ways too. If their female partners want more sex than they do, they make the man feel a little bit wacky. And
you know what? Man up.
Yes, the dummy.
Sorry, your girl wants you. Take it.
That's right.
Are you kidding me? I don't even want to hear the whining. If she wants you, go for it. Take it.
That's right. Don't be a dummy. Realize how lucky you are.
You know it. You know it. If there's a woman out there who is saying, come to me, are you kidding? Come with me. Do this with me. Be with me. Are you kidding? And she has to beg you. Shame on you. Absolutely. Shame on you.
I wish I had that.
Don't we all?
You've been listening to Trend Radio, where we talk about what's hot every Saturday morning, 10 a.m. You want more? Go right to our website, 920thejersey.com. Click on demand and scroll down directly to us.
And if you have a topic of interest you want us to discuss, or you'd like to be a guest on our show, email us now at trendradio920@gmail.com. You'll be glad you did.
And remember, your smile is your logo, your personality is your business card.
But how you make people feel, well, that becomes your trademark.
I'm Anthony Vincent.
And I'm Elise.
We'll talk to you next week.
Bye for now.